Well, hello there, ladies. This is Leaf Whisper, and welcome to The Darkest Files, a game about prosecuting Nazis. The only thing better than killing Nazis is making sure that they pay for their crimes. Just Here you go. So I saw this was on sale on Steam a while back, and I figured I like point-and-click mystery games, and a game that has a historical precedent, because this is based off the actual trials of Nazis after World War II. And you actually meet someone who are prosecuting those cases. I thought, interesting premise, and I tried out the demo and I liked it, and I thought, why not give this one a go? Only 2 parts so far. We'll just go for the normal investigator mode. I'm not a sadist. I can just... The events in our game are based on true crimes committed during the Nazi era and were investigated in the young Federal Republic of Germany. That would be West Germany. With the exception of Fritz Bauer, the names of all those involved have been changed. Any similarities with existing persons of the same names are purely coincidental.
Frankfurt, West Germany, 1956. 11 years after the end of World War II, many crimes of the Nazi era still go unpunished. The perpetrators of these crimes are walking free. Many judges, prosecutors, and police officers have already served under the Nazis. Now they have no interest in prosecuting their former comrades for actions similar to their own. For the victims of these crimes, this is unbearable. To end this, Attorney General Fritz Bauer establishes a special unit of young prosecutors with no ties to the old regime. I am Esther Katz. I am one of these prosecutors. We are investigating Nazi crimes and bringing perpetrators to justice. Not to avenge, not to hear, but to show that there are laws that apply to all. It doesn't make us popular. Most want to forget. Some want us to shut up. But they cannot stop us. Nothing belongs to the past. Everything is still present and can become the future again.
Wise words, Mr. Bauer. Fortunate, true words. September 1956.
First day. You've got this, Katz.
Mouse to look around, was to walk, or hold right-click to move. Archive.
Archive? Not where I should be now. Hello? Anybody here? Not much of a welcome party.
Oh, here's my own.
Now, where?
Good morning.
Oh, hello. Good morning. Sorry I didn't hear you enter. You must be Miss Katz, right?
Esther Katz, yes, that would be me. And you are?
Paula. Paula Fischer. Hello. I'm a legal assistant here for Mr. Bauer's team. Well, the legal assistant. We're a bit understaffed at the moment.
It's nice to meet you, Paula.
Oh, it's my pleasure, believe me. I've brought you this week's newspaper and a letter that arrived for you. Anyway, I should probably be going. I'll be at my desk if you need anything. You'll find me. Or through the intercom. We just had the whole system installed. It made my life so much easier.
Thank you. Is there anything else?
Mr. Bauer wants to talk with you once you've acclimatized. His words, not mine. He should be arriving soon for that matter, so should the rest of the team.
I see. Very well then. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on our team, Miss Katz.
All right then. First encounter, check. Time for me to settle in.
Frankfurt esteem. Bauer's witch hunt. Irresponsible and detrimental to the stability of the state. These were the words used by members of the Hessian State Parliament last week to describe Fritz Bauer's work as Attorney General. Some local CDU MPs called for his immediate dismissal. MPs is members of Parliament. They said that with each ill-considered accusation, he was destroying the reputations of decent men who were just what this country urged needed. The question arises as to how high the price of Bauer's fanatical crusade will ultimately be and whether Germany can afford it. Recruitment efforts. With next year's election looming over the horizon, the CDU leadership is reportedly aiming to significantly bolster its numbers in the remaining month. Party chairman and current Chancellor Konrad Adenauer has reached out to his fellow Christian Democrats in personal letters, instructing them to dramatically increase their recruitment efforts. According to our sources, Mr. Adenauer hopes to at least double the party's membership, expecting every registered member to recruit at least one new candidate. Politics, they're inescapable.
The last holiday we spent together as a family. I'm so glad Dad made us do it. Franz was such a show-off that summer. Always trying to impress the girls. I wish you were here, big brother.
Really learn to cherish those moments.
A new job deserves a fresh journal, ready to be filled with notes and tasks.
Excellent. Your notebook contains your current to-dos, overviews of characters, and more. Access it through the radio map. Notebook, dialogue log, case. Awesome. Okay.
Look at that. Written evidence of all those sleepless nights. And a ton of coffee. But here I am. I finally made it. Pretty sure it was all worth it.
That's Frankfurt am Main. All the second stage examination with success. Main degree of Assessor of Law and Criminal Law.
I'm not letting you down. I swear.
There's our first achievement. I can't read that well. My dear daughter, my heartfelt congratulations on your promotion. Being a state attorney at the age of 28, that is no small feat. You achieved this on your own through diligence and brilliance of mind. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Though it is a great honor to work for the Attorney General directly, Dr. Bauer is not always easy to work with, I hear. But people are saying a lot of good things about him too, so please don't let me spook you. I wish you all the best for your new position. No father has ever been prouder of his daughter. With love, your father. Yes, your mother asks if you're coming home at the weekend. I think she's still getting used to the fact that her daughter is working a job, not tending a family. The 50s. No need to call anyone. No?
Hello?
Mr. Bauer is ready for you. He says, at your own time. With him, that means as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'd better get going then.
Good luck.
Mona's Gaststätte. If the wine is good, I'd probably be a regular customer by the end of the year.
I'm guessing that's a winery. I think maybe a cafe. I don't know. I don't speak. Miss Paula. Dr. Bauer's office.
Miss Katz, welcome to the front line.
Good morning, Dr. Bauer.
Just mister. We're working together. My name, as you already know, is Fritz Bauer, General Prosecutor. Much to the displeasure of the public, I insist on investigating the many crimes committed under the NSDAP. Most of them, of course, have long since gone cold. And nobody out there truly wishes for us, for you, to solve them. Or frankly, to even touch them. A rather thankless job, may I say. Are you up for it?
Never ask if this is a test.
I am, and I'm well aware of this.
You see, I'm not entirely sure of that. But no matter. Miss Katz, I believe I have the perfect case for you to start with.
I'm listening.
Hans Naumann, an older gentleman, shot just before the end of the war.
What do we know about the case?
According to the victim's wife, her husband was taken by uniformed men for no reason. He never came back. His body was found in a forest nearby after the war. Shot in the head.
I assume this isn't the first time she brought this case up?
No, it's not. Miss Naumann reported her husband's death to the police. A case was opened. The public prosecutor's office investigated members of the NSDAP local group. They're suspects. However, no charges were pressed. Based on the investigation, Hans Naumann was lawfully executed.
And how did they reach this conclusion?
That you can learn from the documents. The first thing that I'll need you to establish is why Hans Naumann was taken. Depending on the answer, we'll see if the case warrants a full investigation. I asked Mrs. Fisher to prepare a file. It should probably already be on your desk. I suggest you familiarize yourself with it and invite the widow to give a statement. Mrs. Fisher should be able to help you with that. It might also be wise to check the archives. You never know what is hidden in these old boxes. Maybe something about this official order mentioned in the discontinuation report? Ask Mr. Bournemouth for the keys. I believe he has a spare set. Good luck, Miss Katz.
Right. Get the keys, check the files, and invite the first witness. And I need a refresher on the Nazi hierarchy. Understanding the chain of command will be crucial. Paula did say to ask her if I needed anything.
Oh, she's right
Miss
there.
Katz, how can I help you?
I need some additional files.
Something specific?
I need more details regarding NS organizations. Chains of commands, ranks, and badges. Anything you can get your hands on.
Of course, I'll get right to it. Anything else?
Thank you, Paula. That will be all for now.
Here if you need anything.
Gotta admire her for keeping a smile on her face, yes, despite everything else. I don't have a key to the archive.
The door is locked.
Here's the file. Helpfully stamped case file. I'm just gonna silence. Official case number. Investigation into the death of Hans Naumann from Munich has revealed that he fell victim to a violent crime. For details, please see S file report. Able to identify 4 possible suspects who are connected to the victim's disappearance: Altman, Alfred, Kibitz, Hermann, Scheichert, Karl, Schwarz, Herbert. Police investigation is thus considered closed and we hereby officially turn the case over to your prosecutor's office. If you encounter any questions during the examination for indictment, please do not hesitate to contact us. On May 10th, 1945, a dead body was reported to the police in a wooded area near Munich. The deceased was identified as Hans Naumann, age 77. The autopsy revealed that he was killed by a 7.65mm Browning caliber gunshot to the forehead at close range. No other injuries were found. The victim's widow filed a criminal complaint against unknown persons on August 8, 1945. She had observed 2 men pick up her husband on April 28, 1945. He had been considered missing ever since. Four suspects identified in connection with the victim's disappearance were interrogated. All suspects testified that the victim was guilty of treason and was therefore lawfully executed. The evaluation of whether a crime has been committed is the responsibility of the authorized prosecutor's office. Seems to me like the police didn't want them to do the job. Herbert Schwarz, District Leader, Munich, Berg, Allen, Report. On record, M. Mittermoser, Block Warden. Block Warden Mittermoser saw a man climbing up the block's flagpole, attempting to tear down the Reich flag and replace it with a white flag. Mittermoser ordered the perpetrator to stop and attempted to apprehend him. And the perpetrator attacked him and fled the scene. The block warden was injured in result. Mittermoser is certain that he recognized a young resident of the block, John Naumann, as the perpetrator. Local group leader Falkman immediately set up a detachment to arrest and interrogate suspect Falkman. Signed, Herbert Schwarz. Proceedings against Falkman, Kibitz, Scheichert, Schwarz due to manslaughter. In the above-mentioned proceedings, we made the following decision. The proceedings shall be discontinued pursuant to Code 170, Section 2 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. The victim, Hans Naumann, was a communist insurgent who carried out highly treasonable actions in a wartime situation. The execution ordered by the district leader was carried out according to the law in force at the time of the crime and the official orders of the regional leader for Munich for Bavaria, Helmut Solberg. Signed by the prosecutor. An act may be punished only if it was punishable by law before the act was committed. Yeah, we can't have any ex post facto. Except for Article 91b of the Criminal Code of the German Reich up to September 1945. Anyone at home or as a German abroad who abets the hostile power during a war against the Reich or causes a disadvantage to the military power of the Reich or its allies will be sentenced to death or life imprisonment. In view of these 2 laws, it is not possible to carry out further investigations in the case as the suspects acted accordingly to contemporary laws in execution. Well, that's kind of bullshit. Protocol of Conversation. Witness, Herbert Schwarz, 7th November 1946. Prosecutor P. Astor. Please tell me what happened on the 28th of April 1945. I remember that my esteemed colleague Alfred Feldman, group leader of the local group I tasked with catching the criminal, came to my office, told me they got the traitor, and gave his report from the arrest so that I could issue the official documents. I went with Mr. Feldman out into the hallway. With crimes of this severity, I always give the same order, the order to execute. I then told my driver to come with me to my office. The others went to the prisoner to carry out my order as requested. Your driver, what for? There was already unrest in the country because of the Americans who were just flooding in like flies. I wanted to set up alternative routes with my driver to avoid these Americans and still make it to my important appointment. Shortly thereafter, there was a polite knock. Door and group leader Feldman reported to me the insurgent had been successfully executed. Guessing the guy with the key hasn't arrived yet, so I'll just ask Paul to
Miss
invite a
Katz,
witness.
how can I help you?
I need you to invite a potential witness.
Of course. Who should I reach out to?
Ludmilla Naumann, the victim's widow. I want to hear her version of what happened.
Of course. I'm on top of it. Anything else?
Thank you, Paula. That will be all for now.
Here if you need anything.
Way back when you could smoke like a chimney inside and no. So from the looks of things, this Hans Naumann was arrested in place of, I'm guessing, his kid, John Naumann, who was supposed to be arrested for desecrating the plaque.
With so many smokers here, I doubt this office will ever be free of the cigarette smell. They are supposed to be good for you, though. That's what my doctor said.
Ah, age of innocence. Go look around the rest of the office. Ah, Frankenstein's monster.
Not the cleanest of places. Does it just go all day long?
Today's news. Catholic Day leave. Catholic soldiers to receive up to 3 days special leave to attend the German Catholic Day. Soviet embassy in Bonn accuses Germany of espionage. I think that's a given. Washington. A German army of 300,000 will protect Europe from the Soviet threat. The German army will be supplied with American equipment for the years 1957 to 1960. The preparations of the deal were completed by U.S. Secretary of State John Foster Dulles, West German ambassador to Washington, Krakower. Japan continues its peace treaty negotiations with the Soviet Union, trying to avoid what Prime Minister Hatojama's government has been calling the Adenauer. The current draft holds significant similarities to the deal signed by Germany last autumn, especially in its demand for Japan to recognize Soviet claim of the occupied territories of Sakhalin and Ural Islands. Here's the guy with the key.
Oh, hello. Oh, please, forgive the mess. I'm afraid I didn't have the time to clean up. Miss Katz, right?
Esther Katz, nice to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine. Christoph Olmuth. Christoph, preferably. I try to be on first-name basis.
How friendly.
And how's that going?
It worked with Paula, not with Simon. Didn't dare to try it with Bauer.
In this case, I would prefer you treat me like your male colleagues.
We are a small team. I'd love to tell you that we are small and tight-knit, but, well, happy to have more people join the fight. Especially someone like you.
And what do you mean by that?
Well, you're a woman.
That's a very astute observation.
I see why
Right.
you're paid the big
Sorry.
pink bucks.
What I meant to say is, you're a woman and a prosecutor. That didn't sound better.
Not really.
Right. Well, high time. That's it, in short. Right. Again, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Mr. Bauer said you have the keys to the archive?
I do. We all. Oh, despair. I tend to keep 2 sets, as I'm somewhat prone to displacing them. Just let me find it. And there it is. The master key. Be aware of its gifts.
The master key?
It's from a story I used to read. Don't mind me. Good luck in the archives.
Ooh, the smell. Brings me back to all the nights at the library.
Find the archives file. Looking for it. You need to connect a name to it. Amen. Yeah. Ah. 7JN 1956-20. Not there. There it is.
Found them. These seem relevant to our case.
Official order. Germans, national comrades. In this most difficult time for our nation, more than ever, the responsibility for Germany's fate rests on all our shoulders. All Germans are called upon to fight against the traitors in our own country. The resistance is to be disarmed, the uprising has to be quelled. Anyone who propagates or approves of any measures that would weaken our resistance against the enemy is a traitor and must be shot. Any attempted insubordination must be met with immediate removal from all public positions and expulsion from the party. The name of Germany will not be tarnished. I trust in your confidence, your absolute allegiance, and discipline. Helmut Solbrick. Citizens, the war is over. The oppressors have lost. Do not defend the city against the Allies. Avoid unnecessary bloodshed. Tear down the Reich flags from the roofs. Raise the white flags. Welcome our liberators. Freedom is near. Death to Nazi criminals. Join the campaign to liberate Bavaria.
Paula, how often do I need to tell you that my plaque belongs on my door and not on the floor?
That voice. Oh no.
And how often do I need to remind you that I am not your handyman?
Just fix my door, Paula!
Ugh, no. No. There's no way it's Peter's. Just no. I need to check it. Please let it not be him. Of all the people, how is he here?
He sounds very pleasant to work.
This better be about my door, Paula. Tell me this is a joke.
My thoughts exactly.
Falda, what are you doing here, Katz?
Funny. I was just about to ask you the same thing.
I work here, Katz. I'm Mr. Bauer's right-hand man. And I'm so sorry, but we don't really do marriage disputes for bored housewives here, you know?
Right-hand man? So what? You're his assistant? I thought you wanted to be a well-paid defense attorney. Didn't get the job on account of your wonderful personality, I assume.
Just my luck. So you're the new hire, Katz.
In the flesh.
You won't last a week.
Oh, so you did find your confidence in the end. Or is it still going to be like that time you scored 4th in class and threw a fit?
Classy, as always. You know what? I don't have time for this. Get out of my office, Katz. Try not to embarrass yourself.
There's nothing left for me to do. I should call it a day.
Ending the day. Go to the main door in the lobby downstairs to end the day and begin. September 1956.
Miss Katz, if you'd have a moment.
Yes, Paula?
I found some documents you asked for. They're waiting in your inbox. Oh, and there was a call for you. Asked for you to call back. I wrote down the number, left it with the files.
Who called me?
I'm afraid he didn't give a name. An older man, I'd say. Sounded very proper, even if he did ignore my questions. Oh, he referred to you just by name, Esther.
I have an inbox?
We all do, apart from Mr. Peters. He demands everything be handed to him personally, as if we weren't already understaffed. I set yours on your desk. It's where I'll be leaving any letters or files for you. And a daily agenda, if that's needed.
Thank you, Paula. Time to get started.
I wrote down a number that you should call back when you have time. Mrs. Nallman will be arriving soon. Please update Mr. Bauer after the interrogation. Right. Uniform and rank insignia of political leaders of the NSDAP. National Socialist and German and Party. They had heavily diminished in favor of the Gau Regional Association. Head of a Gau stood a Gauleiter appointed directly by Hitler, responsible for coordinating all party and party-related activities in the region. and ensuring the NSDAP's authority and influence. To facilitate those goals, GAO authority often overlapped and overruled that of officials. Authority extended to the party members that were part of its office or subdivisions, districts, local groups, cells, or Army uniform and uniform and rank insignia of the German police. Frankfurt esteem. Amnesty for the communists? Federal Minister of the Interior Gerhard Schroeder remains opposed to the Bundestag's calls for political amnesty. Following the delegalization of the KPD in August, as the number of criminal cases against its former members continues to rise, threatening to overtax the criminal justice system. Over 3,000 new charges being brought against these suspects of politically motivated crimes. Each of them will soon require pre-trial detentions. Globkist defense. Mr. Globkist defenders, with Chancellor Adenauer at the head, do not hesitate to voice their support, drawing similarities between the acts of him and the persecution of influential figures of the Weimar. Presenting his role in the Nuremberg racial laws as a voice of reason in an attempt to preventing worse things from happening, they describe the accusations as bad-mouthing and democratic life form.
I wonder if anybody can tell me how this happened.
Ask about
Who do I want to call?
Hello?
Father? I didn't expect you'd call me here.
Oh, Esther, my dear, so good to hear you. Did you settle in all right?
I have great colleagues. Well, most of them. And I believe I can do a lot of good here.
I see. Esther, there's something I want to discuss. Do you remember our little talk? It must have been last month.
Is this about that job at your friend's firm? Bergmann, was it?
Bergmann, Kranich and Partners, yes. Bergmann is one of my oldest friends. Family law, very respectable.
I'm afraid I'm not looking for another job right now.
Unfortunately, I know. It's why I have to do it. Esther, let me be very frank with you. I'm proud of you. I really am. A prosecutor at your age, with the view on women on our line of work being what it is, I'd have to be a fool not to. But your mother and I, we are worried. Do you have any idea what they say about Bauer?
There are those who hate him. It means he's on the right track.
To be young and so naive again. He's hated because he's on a witch hunt. Listen to your father. Leave. Nothing good will come from this.
I make my own decisions now, Father.
Oh, my silly, silly little girl. You... No, Essie. I must apologize. I did not mean to get so passionate about this.
You'd be having this discussion if you'd had a son.
One's reputation is, and if people start to associate you with that man. I just want what's best for you, Essie.
I know that.
I'm proud of you. I know I already said that, but I really am. Like you can't imagine.
Paula?
Mrs. Naumann just arrived. I showed her to the conference room.
Thank you. I'll be right there.
we go.
You must be Mrs. Naumann. Thank you for coming. My name is Esther Katz. I am one of the prosecutors in Attorney General Bauer's team.
Good morning, Miss Katz. I am very grateful that you found the time. The last prosecutor who looked into my husband's death didn't even speak to me. He dismissed the case, claiming my husband was rightfully executed as a traitor.
Did your husband do anything for which he could be accused of treason?
Of course not. The men that took him weren't even looking for him.
I see. I know it's not easy, but please take me through the day your husband was taken.
It was in April 45, only days before the Americans came.
Where were you that day?
Home. We lived in a small house. Hans was upstairs when the doorbell rang, before someone hammered against the door.
This is a little like Return of the Obra Dinn when we connect with Desi. And you can actually click on stuff here.
Do you remember what time of the day it was?
We just had lunch, so it must have been close to 1 p.m.
Did you and your husband live alone?
No, there was also our son Jan. He insisted on staying with us to help around the house, at least until the end of the war. But he wasn't in. He went out in the morning before we woke up.
When you opened the door, who was it?
There were 2 men. One of them was pointing a gun at me.
Do you remember what they looked like?
Both wore uniforms. Brown ones, if I'm not mistaken.
Members. Neither police, not police. They were not the police or the Wehrmacht.
Did they belong to the Wehrmacht?
No. Not Wehrmacht and not police either. Maybe some kind of party officials or something. One of them was small, thin. He wore glasses, I remember that. The second man was bigger. He was the one pointing the gun at me. He seemed to be in charge.
What made you think that?
He had 2 golden stripes on his uniform, and he was bossing the small one around. He yelled and waved his gun around to scare me.
Let me stop you for a second. These stripes on his uniform... Could one of these be the badge you saw?
Let me see. Yes. That's the one here. The local group leader. That's the one.
That is very useful. Thank you. Please continue.
They demanded to speak to Mr. Naumann. The gun was still there and... I was just so afraid I couldn't even move. Hans came down and asked them what they wanted. They demanded to know if there was anyone with us. When we said no, the smaller guy looked in the other rooms. He found no one. It was only Hans and I. Then the big one told Hans that he had to come with them for questioning.
Just making sure there's any.
Did they say why they were questioning him?
No, they did not. They ignored Hans when he asked for their reason. Then everything happened so fast. The small one said they'd let him go if our son would turn himself in. Then they just herded him out, like an animal.
Could we think that way? I want to make sure.
Did you see something outside?
It has been a while, I'm not exactly sure. There was a car, I think. Yes, one of those big, terrible trucks that they used.
I remember them. They were just everywhere.
This was the last time I saw him alive. Me and my son never got the chance to say goodbye.
What was that man's comment about your son?
Jan. He was living with us at that time, but he didn't show up that night or the following. He got into some trouble. Bad trouble.
Do you think the men were looking for your son?
I believe so, yes. At least that's what they said.
Wait a second. I think it was mentioned somewhere.
I bookmark.
Please, take a look.
Oh God. Here it is. He recognized him as Jan Naumann. I can't believe there was proof all along. And the former prosecutor just dismissed it. How could he?
I wish I knew. I am really sorry. Please, continue. What happened upon your son's return?
When Jan finally came back, it was already too late. We asked the authorities about Hans, but they pretended not to know anything. After war, my husband was found dead in a forest nearby. Shot. I believe he died the same day they took him.
I would really like to talk to your son about it.
You and I both, dear. But I am afraid that's not possible. Jan died only a few months after his father. Pneumonia. Hans was innocent. They killed him, and that's murder. No matter what they call it.
I hear you, Mrs. Naumann.
Please, Miss Katz, will you find the man?
I will do my very best.
Thank you.
We will let you know if we have enough for an indictment. Please, Paula will help you to the door. Goodbye. I should update Mr. Bauer.
That was rough.
Hello, Miss Katz. Any news regarding the Naumann case?
And quite surprising ones. As it turns out, he wasn't even supposed to be arrested. The men were looking for his son, Jan Naumann. When they couldn't find Jan, they took Hans instead, the father.
I assume that's what Miss Naumann told you. But are you sure she is telling the truth?
According to the files, the man they were looking for had climbed up a flagpole, torn down a flag, and beaten up a block warden when he was caught in the act. Hans Naumann was 77 years old at the time. Of course, there are older men who are in good shape, but...
Pulling down a flag and beating someone up seems unlikely. I understand.
Yes.
I see, but why did the man take him, if they knew he was innocent?
Considering the times, they might have been afraid of coming back empty-handed. Or they could have hoped their actual suspect would turn himself in. hearing his father was taken.
Highly illegal, even back then. Not uncommon, though. But why did they shoot the old man?
That I don't know yet. But I believe this is definitely a case for us.
It is, indeed. I will officially reopen the investigations tomorrow. You need to find out who was at the crime scene when Hans Naumann was shot. We need witnesses.
I'd start with the names mentioned in the files of the first investigation.
Excellent. Let's get this case to court, Miss Katz. And be mindful of time. We do not have nearly enough of it here. Since you have never led a case before, I want you to be prepared. Mr. Peters has agreed to look over your shoulder and help you out. Present your findings, prove your claims. Please reach out to him.
I'll do what I can.
Boy.
I'll need Paula to get me more information on the suspects. And I suppose I should share the good news with Peters. Just great.
That poor man. And that poor woman. She lost everyone she loved in a matter of a few months. I really hope we can help her.
I hope so too.
Anything I can do?
Can I ask you something delicate?
Of course. What's this about?
Peters.
Oh, what did he do this time?
And that already answers some of my questions. He didn't do anything yet. I just found it strange to see him here. When did he start working for Mr. Bauer?
He was here from the very beginning. One of the first hires. Or even the first hire, according to Christoph. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Mr. Wohlmuth. Apparently, Peters volunteered as soon as Bauer was appointed district prosecutor, before there was even any talk of forming a team. I know, I don't believe that either.
How is his work? Is it any good?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be saying that. I don't even think that, really. We're lucky to have him. He's dedicated, diligent, and very good at his job. Mr. Bauer is more than happy with his results. I just wish his attitude matched his aptitude. Or that he'd clean up his notes once he's done with a file.
What's it like working with...
Terrible. Just... let me tell you, that man has no respect for me and my work. Or anybody else's work for that matter. Maybe except for Mr. Bauer's. But he seems simply convinced I'm just here to be his personal maid, secretary, cook. My coffee, Paula. Where are my files, Paula? What about the witness I asked 2 minutes ago, Paula? And then that damn plaque of his. Don't even get me started.
Is the falling plaque a popular topic?
It won't stay on the wall. I've tried everything. And for some reason, every time it's still supposed to be my fault, my problem. That thing is either cursed or he knocks it down himself just to have something to complain about.
Maybe it just doesn't like him.
Thank you, Paula. I think that's all.
Wait, not so fast. Why are you so interested in Peters?
He was in my class when I studied law. In several of my classes.
I'm so sorry.
That's why I was so surprised to find him here. He was just a pain. Self-centered, snarky, full of himself. Clearly only in it for the money. No ideals. Just ambition and spite.
Oh, we need to get coffee at some point. And well, I don't know. Mr. Bauer does trust him for some reason, so that has to count for something, right?
I sure hope so. Thank you, Paula.
Miss Katz, how can I help you?
I need some additional files.
I looked into the NSDAP local group from the original investigation.
Only a few documents survived the bombing, but I found a group photo and a member list from a few years before the incident. I took the liberty of marking the suspects. One of them, Mr. Schwarz, is dead.
Well, that was quick.
Just doing my job. Any other documents I can get for you?
The member list is helpful, but I'd still need something more about our suspects. Can you get me their files?
I'll reach out to the Berlin Document Center. But, just so you know, they tend to take their time. Anything else?
Archives tend to do. Oh.
I need you to invite a potential witness.
Of course. Who should I reach out to?
Let me get back to you, Paula.
Sure, just let me know before you leave.
Alfred Faltman, Hermann Kiebitz, Karl Schick. And here's a copy of my Ludmilla Nauman's testimony. Local group leader Faltman. Faltman was the fat man with the gun. I'm guessing Kiebitz was the guy with the glasses. I think we should start at the top and work our way down. Let's get Faltman.
Miss Katz, how can I help you?
I need you to invite a potential witness.
Of course. Who should I reach out to?
Please invite Mr. Feitman.
We'll reach out immediately. Anything else?
Thank you, Paula. That will be all for now.
Here if you need anything.
I had a talk with Mr. Bauer. He wants us to get along, to work together.
I've heard.
Let's just be adults about it, Peters. Peters?
Yes, I've heard you, Katz. Fine. Here's what we're going to do. Let's just call it a truce. I won't interfere with your casework if you stay away from mine. Agreed?
Agreed.
Good. And as for this whole preparing you for court situation, I swear to God, but there is no point discussing it before you've met the witnesses anyway.
Thank you for thinking I'm a total beginner.
Oh, you're welcome. Someone has to do it, since Mr. Bauer apparently overestimates your abilities. Anyway, get through at least some of your witnesses, and we can get it over with. And while we're at it, don't forget to bring some evidence. I don't want us to improvise the whole thing.
There's nothing left for me to do. I should call it a day.
Kitty.
Well, hello. And who would you be?
That's Marlene. My son turned out to be allergic, so Mr. Bauer agreed to have her stay here for now.
Looking forward to working with you, Marlene. Oh, hello, Marlene. Meow.
Pets always make everything better. First suspect, 24th September 1956.
Good morning, Miss Katz.
Morning, Paula.
Civil Codes, Bereichsgesetz, Seneca, and some Frankel and Neumann. Quite a collection. Wait, is that a Sachenspiegel? I think Dad had a copy of this edition.
I have no idea what any of that meant. First suspect will arrive soon. Inform Mr. Bauer of the latest developments. No end to the Suez Crisis. As the representatives of the 18 governments involved in the Second Suez Canal Conference begin to leave London, the truth remains unchanged. Despite the exchanged assurances of continued support and collaboration, the world is no closer to finding a peaceful solution to the crisis. U.S. officials voiced their concerns regarding goals with the French and British delegations, suspecting them of having no interest in a compromise. With the April 1st draft date of the first Bundeswehr conscripts approaching, the question of whether German government's goals can feasibly be achieved remained. Out of the 4,000 American main and tanks requested by the Secretary of Defense, Theo Blank, over a quarter of the order has been cancelled by the Bundestag. Even with the 1,600 previously gifted by the United States, the final number remained lower than planned.
Miss Katz, excuse me. The witness you asked me to contact, Alfred Faltmann, just arrived.
Thank you, Paula. I'll be joining you in a minute.
Here we go.
Mr. Faltmann, my name is Esther Katz. I am investigating the death of Hans Naumann in 1945.
What are you investigating? The case has been closed.
New evidence has come to light. My department and I are checking whether the case needs to be reopened.
Sounds like wasting the German state's money. Just one question. Your name, Esther Katz. Are you Jewish?
I don't see how this is relevant, Mr. Faltmann.
Oh, I'm just curious, but I see I must have touched a nerve.
Mr. Faltmann, please tell me what happened on April 28, 1945.
My superior asked me to arrest some sort of insurgent. A simple task I gave to my subordinates. I was quite surprised when I saw who they brought. I asked if they were sure they got the right men. The crimes that had been committed...
I must interrupt you. I was told a different version.
Has Herbert Schwartz's testimony.
Mr. Faltmann, you were the local group leader at that time, correct?
That is correct, miss.
According to our witnesses, one of the men who took the victim from his house had the insignia of a local group leader's, with, of course, none of the other members of your group bearing that rank. Why then do you claim it was your subordinates who brought the man to you? And how could you be surprised by the suspect's identity if you arrested him yourself?
I don't know. It was such a long time ago.
Mr. Faltmann, I must inform you that you are legally obliged to speak the truth here.
Don't you snap at me, young lady. The whole thing happened over 10 years ago. I must have simply remembered it wrong. Either way, I still wanted to release the suspect. That's how it was. But Schickert insisted, so we took him back to the district office.
The district office, where was it?
The cellar of a previously bombed brewery. We had to relocate with all the bombings. It was cleaned up beforehand, of course. As much as was possible with the manpower we had. With how the war was going, we had to make do. Schickert and Kiebitz waited in the corridor as I spoke with the district leader, Mr. Schwartz. But he dismissed my doubts. Alfred, my man, you worry too much. It wasn't my place to doubt his decision, I thought. So we left his office and he gave the order.
How shows current goal needs present. There's Feldman, Schwartz, Kiewicz, Schickert.
What did he say?
That for his crimes against the German people, the prisoner was to be executed.
How did the men react?
I can't recall. It has been quite a while. I think they were a bit uncertain. Kiewicz, at least. I wanted to discuss the order further, but Schwartz went back to his office.
Who ordered the execution? Gave the initial execution order might be especially relevant if that person knew.
What happened after Mr. Schwartz left the hallway?
We went to the captive. Kiewicz, Schickert, and I. I was hesitant, of course, but again, it wasn't my place to question Mr. Schwartz. And let's be honest, in those times, heads rolled pretty quickly for defying orders.
Still not an excuse. Tension. Interbound is untersagt zu verkosten. No idea.
This must be the cell.
Guessing something about not drinking.
Where was the victim kept?
One of the cells, previously a storage room. Tight, dirty quarters with a small barred window. As soon as we entered, I hadn't seen him this up close before. I realized I just couldn't follow through with it. I told my men to stop.
What did you tell them?
That this could not have been our man. We had to convince the district leader to reconsider.
Did they agree with you?
Kiewicz did, but Schickert, on the other hand, he wouldn't even consider it. The man was a maniac, usually harmless, obsessed as he was with hierarchy. But at that point he had this fanatical look on his face.
What did he say to you?
That he would report me to the Gestapo. Now, you know what that would mean, but that didn't matter. I knew Mr. Schwartz. I knew he would understand.
Who went to the cell where Naumann was kept captive? It's crucial to know who was standing in the cell and witnessed the execution. Who resisted the order? Who threatened with the Gestapo if the order was refused?
I ordered Schickert to stay put and left the cell, looking for the district leader. I was certain I could convince him this time.
Did you succeed?
I didn't get the chance. I was halfway through the hallway when I heard it. A gunshot. Schickert had gone through with the execution.
But you weren't in that room, you stated.
Right. But it must have been him. He was so persistent about following the order.
After the interrogation, you can explore and investigate your surroundings further to unlock new research opportunities.
The place was a brewery. Did you prepare the cells for the prisoners?
Not personally, but yes, a few rooms were modified adequately.
What weapons did the people present have? Standard issue equipment?
Not at that point in the war. We used whatever was still left. If we could get our hand on a gun or a rifle, somebody got it.
And what does adequately mean?
It's been a while, miss. And I can't say it was something that occupied me. They were for criminals.
A brewery cellar seems a weird place for a district office. How did you have enough power for it to function?
Often we didn't. All those Allied bombs made sure of that when they leveled the city. We had to rely on our backup generator. That and oil lamps.
Did you have any contact with the surrounding local groups?
Of course. We had an older model radio station connecting us with the rest of Bavaria. Or what was left of it at that point in the war. Mostly other groups around Munich.
They seemed to scream forever, and you could still hear the bombs falling. Did the group members drink on duty?
It was clearly forbidden. We did our best to enforce this rule even in those days. But most likely they still did. Just learned to hide it well.
What happened if you or Mr. Schwarz caught any of the group members drinking?
Usually I took pride in running a tight ship. You smell of alcohol while on duty? Dismissed. But at that point, they got away with just a slap on the wrists. We needed all the hands we could get, drunk or not. And with the Yankees on the streets, we all heard the bottles calling.
If they were dismissed for drinking, what would be the punishment for disobeying an order? Spending entire days in a damn cellar. They must have been bored and tried to pass the time. When did you move to the cellar?
2 months back, mid-February, after those pigs burned Dresden.
Can you tell me more about your local group?
We were Schwarz hands, so to speak. While most local groups were responsible for a section of the city, we were assigned directly to the district office.
I think I'm still missing something. Describe the office of Mr. Schwarz to me.
It was sufficient. At the end of the day, it was just an abandoned cellar. It was the one room with which we did the most, let's say, renovation. For a man of Schwarz station, it was nothing more than an, again, sufficient office.
What were Mr. Schwarz's responsibilities?
He was the district leader, the highest authority in the city. The question should be, what weren't his responsibilities? Everyone in Munich answered to him.
I should consider the chain of command. What can you tell me about working for Mr. Schwarz?
It was a true honor. Comrade Schwarz was an exemplary German and a magnificent leader. I have him to thank for my work ethic. I learned much from his example. We all did.
I'm sure there are multiple positives to working for UNA.
What about you? What was your role in the district?
As a group leader, I made sure Mr. Schwarz and the party's will were enforced in the city. He needed somebody he could trust, someone who would see to it that order was maintained. That was me.
What can you tell me about Mr. Kiebitz?
Exemplary subordinate. Loyal. One of the few people among that band of ingrates I knew I could rely on. Unfortunately, Schwarz knew that as well. Kiebitz might have been a member of my local group, but he mostly worked directly for the district leader.
Can you tell me more about Karl Schickert?
A damned idealist. He wouldn't shut up about duty and Prussian values. Still, I can't say anything bad about his work. Always diligent, hardworking, and unbearable perfectionist.
You weren't a Nazi. I might get along with him. Heck.
So, District Leader Schwarz wasn't further involved with the execution?
Why should he be? There were more important issues that needed his attention. His responsibility was to make the decision and give the order.
There was no execution order in the files I got. If it exists, I should check if I can get my hands on it. You said you had mentioned your doubts to Mr. Schwarz.
Of course you did.
I did. I tried to convince him to reconsider. Unfortunately, he remained unbudging.
Do you remember how long the two of you talked?
Well, now that's... well, can't say. It must have been a while. Quite a while. I did try my best. Unfortunately, once again, it wasn't enough.
Still missing something.
They must have had petrol to run the generator, or to destroy evidence. We had these oil lamps everywhere. In the bathroom, in the living room, in the kitchen.
We take such things for granted.
How long were the prisoners usually kept there?
Can't say. It depended on the case. However long it took for justice to be served.
Justice. Sure. Here, clues. Here, clues. On out. Opposite.
Do you know what weapon Mr. Schickert used?
I didn't see it, so no. The one he was issued, I suppose. What does it even matter?
I know what weapon was used to kill the man. I just need to know who had it.
7.56 mil. Hang on a second. There isn't a brightness on.
Was the victim your only prisoner at the time?
It's been almost 15 years, for God's sake, woman.
11.
You can't honestly expect me to remember details like that.
Did many prisoners share the victim's fate?
If they deserved it.
So, just to confirm, Mr. Schickert shot while you were not in the room any longer?
That is correct. And that is all I know.
Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Feldman.
I take back what I said in the beginning, Miss Katz. Perhaps it is right to reopen this case after all. Have a good evening, miss.
I should update Mr. Bauer.
Uniform or not. He's clearly still.
I wouldn't bother.
Did you see Mr. Bauer?
I wish I did. He got a call and had to leave. Urgently. Let me tell you, he was in quite the rush. Murmuring something about Argentina, of all places.
Guess I won't be updating him today.
Apparently a lot of Nazis fled to Argentina, which had a pretty, friendly disposition to Nazis. To this day, there's a significant number of German and immigrants living in Argentina.
Any updates on the suspect's personnel files?
I've made the request, but no news since then. Berlin's as silent as always.
All quiet on the Western Front.
I need some additional files. Is there any chance some files regarding the group members' responsibilities remain? Mr. Kibitzer specifically. I want to know if he at any point worked directly for the district leader.
I'll see what I can do. Anything else?
I need information on the equipment used by the local group. Weapons, mainly. As bureaucratic as the NSDAP was, they must have kept some sort of record.
On it.
According to the suspects, the shooting was ordered by the deceased Mr. Schwarz. But I saw no copy of such an order in the original case's files.
That's weird. I'll look into it right away. Anything else?
I need you to invite a potential witness.
Of course. Who should I reach out to?
Schickert. He's the one who shot not the bullet.
Please invite Mr. Schickert next.
We'll reach out immediately.
Oh, and did you have the chance to talk to Mr. Wohlmuth yet? He found the blueprint of the old brewery that you might find useful. It's where the district office was located at the time of Mr. Naumann's arrest.
Thank you, Paula. That will be all for now.
Now this one was sure full of himself.
Indeed.
Miss Katz. Welcome.
A quick save, Mr. Wohlmuth. You're getting better. A few more weeks and you just might get it right straight away.
I sure would hope so. Actually, before you start, would you mind if for a change I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Am I wrong, or have you and our resident pessimist met before? I mean Simon, or Mr. Peters, if you prefer.
We do know each other. Not closely, but enough. We study together. We didn't really get on well, though. We did even worse than here, so that's saying something. I didn't really expect to see him for a while after that, to be honest. Especially not here. Not someone who'd take a job like this. Or so I thought. So yes, we've met before.
Was he always this much of an ass?
He actually got better, if you'd believe it.
No.
Really, he was much worse. So, what about you?
Me?
What do you make of him?
Oh, he's a nasty piece of work. Unpleasant to be around. He makes everyone around him miserable.
Oh.
But he's a capable prosecutor. Very capable indeed. I'm glad he's on our side. Anyways, is there something else I can help you with?
Paula told me you have something for me. Some sort of blueprint?
Right. Let me just see, where did I put it? What a mess. I've been just buried in all of these papers since morning. Altöttinger Straße 35. There we go. As we can hardly access the original crime scenes, blueprints like this ones are our second best thing. They are what you will be using in court to reconstruct your case.
Thank you.
It's not a problem at all. We need to have each other's backs here. So, who do you think did it?
I'm sorry?
The old man. Who shot him?
Let's build your theory. The blueprint shows us the crime scene and the people involved. Your goal is to build your own theory of the course of the crime by arranging the actors for each step. Crime is divided into 5 steps. Each step is connected with a question by reconstructing it on the blueprint. To answer Christoph's question, jump to steps 5. The last step is to figure out who pulled the trigger. Choose a figure and assign it the action to determine the truth. Here, you can read what your witness has stated. As soon as you've questioned more suspects, their statements will... You will find the blueprint in your office from them. Just continue to close the profile.
I think it could have been Schickert.
And is that what your witness told you?
Yes, it is.
Just remember, you can't always trust what they say. People lie, misremember, make honest mistakes, even more so when they're potential suspects. Our role isn't to retell their testimonies in court, but to build theories of what actually happened, which might be different from what any witness tells you. But here I go, babbling away again. Sorry. Shouldn't keep you any longer. Hope you find the blueprint useful.
Don't worry. I'd say this talk was quite informative. Thank you.
Anytime. Don't be a stranger now.
There's nothing left for me to do. I should call it a day.
Well, I think I'm going to leave it here. So I'm going to say thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this little video.
You know, you really remind me of Kati.
Kati?
We had her when I was younger. Looked just like her. Wasn't nearly as friendly, though. No, she wasn't.
So I'm going to say thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you're looking forward to more. And until then, see you next video.